The leadership tussle within the ranks of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) took a new turn this Monday after President Muhammadu Buhari reportedly ordered the removal of the interim chairman Buni and replaced him with Niger State Governor Sani Bello. Sources within the presidency reveal that Buhari approved Buni's SAG and Bello's appointment before leaving the country to London Sunday afternoon. But the APC on Monday refuted the story that the Buni-led caretaker committee had been sacked on the orders of President Muhammadu Buhari. Akpanu Doede urged the members of the party and the general public to remain calm and support the Buni-led caretaker committee to conduct a rancor-free and credible national convention.
On behalf of all Progressive Congress, our governors, Mr. President, I would like to thank you for this assignment. You handled it very well, quietly, in a very natural manner, and I pray this is the beginning of good things to come going forward. This exercise was hitch-free, and by God's grace, every other exercise will be hitch-free. So most thank you for your time. You left your states, you left your offices to come and deliberate on these matters, and you all agree on this zoning system. This zoning system reflects the principle of fairness and equity. And once it has been implemented, that will give us, it will send a very strong message that our party is that of fairness, equity, and justice. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Now, most of the politicians aspiring to be Nigeria's president in 2023 should be in jail had the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) performed their jobs efficiently and effectively and supported by the judiciary. So says former President Olusegun Obasanjo. He stated this during an international symposium to mark his 85th birthday held at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The former president, who stopped short of calling for power rotation in the country, disclosed that it was the power rotation policy of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) that made it inadvisable for a southern candidate to succeed him after his 8 years in office as president in 2007. Obasanjo also argued that for the purpose of equity and integrity, no region or zone should claim to have monopoly of Nigerians that can lead the country along the path of nation building. Speaking during the event, Obasanjo also declared that he had not endorsed any presidential aspirant for 2023. He also debunked reports that he was sponsoring 3 people from the South for the presidency in 2023. The former president also restated the need for peaceful coexistence in Nigeria, arguing that fixing Nigeria must begin on the principles of nation building, not necessarily on emotion, ethnicity, or religion. Obasanjo disclosed that it was the power rotation policy of the PDP that made it inadvisable for a southern candidate to succeed him after his 8 years in office as president in 2007. He suggested that all presidential aspirants must be properly x-rayed and profiled from birth, and Nigerians must be educated to be able to make a choice that will be in the national interest and propel Nigeria forward. All is now set for the 2022 International Women's Day holding on Tuesday, March 8th. The event is coming days after both chambers of the National Assembly voted to throw out 4 gender-related bills seeking an amendment of the 1999 Nigerian Constitution as amended to provide more political participation for women in public governance. Amidst the controversy surrounding the action of the federal legislature, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State has challenged the women to use the 2022 International Women's Day to insist on their rights. Clearview TV's Mercy Eke now completes the story.
Over time, women in Nigeria have engaged in a struggle to fight political domination by men. Such efforts have won for them equal rights to vote and equal access to education and even in the workplace. However, the proportion in the number of women in both appointive and elective offices remains skewed in the favor of the men. Renewed efforts by women groups to reduce the wide gulf through constitutional amendments suffered a setback at the National Assembly, where the male dominated federal legislature threw out four bills that sought to make special provisions for women in the polity. And as this year's International Women's Day comes up on March 8, 2022, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State says the time has come for Nigerians to recognize the role of women in national development. Speaking at his coronation as the Eze Ubabuziwe Ikpeye Olu of Ikpeye land, Governor Wike expressed worry that the country has no recognition for the importance of women. He therefore charged the women to see the International Women's Day celebration as a day of protest in order to attract attention to the plight of women and their poor representation at all levels of public governance.
I hear on Tuesday the celebration of International Women's Day. I asked Nigerian women, what are you celebrating? Other countries can celebrate their women. Nigeria cannot celebrate their women. So the shameless country cannot celebrate their own women. They cannot recognize their own women. Take that particular day. Women demonstrate against APC, who have refused women to be recognized, who have refused women to be honored in this country. Don't go there to begin to dance. That's nothing to dance until they recognize you. It's only when Nigeria recognizes you, then you can dance. So on their own alone, if they believe in women, they would have passed and amended the constitution on their own without even PDP supporting. But to show they're anti-women, but to show they don't love mothers, they refuse to amend that section of the Constitution that will give opportunities to our wives, that will give opportunities to our sisters, that will give opportunities to our daughters.
Despite embracing inclusive policies, Nigeria has a long road to gender inequality with records of death arising from gender violence, poverty, and political disenfranchisement prevalent among the women folk. Mercy Ake reporting for Clearview Television.
And on the foreign scene, a former South African president, Jacob Zuma, has defended Vladimir Putin's decision to invade Ukraine. In a statement released by his foundation, Zuma described the US and its Western allies as bullies, using Ukraine as a front to bring Russia to its knees through unjustifiable sanctions. According to Zuma, who is facing corruption charges in his native South Africa, Russia invaded Ukraine to protect itself from NATO expansion. He called on those involved to sue for peace, saying he is certain that President Vladimir Putin will reciprocate and will bring all his powers to make peace a reality. According to him, he knows Putin to be a man of peace who has worked hard to ensure peace and stability in the globe. This Monday, Russia said it will open humanitarian corridors to allow the evacuation of civilians from several Ukrainian cities experiencing heavy fighting, including the capital, Kyiv, and the besieged port city of Mariupol.